show to take us through the significance of the achievements of our nominees. Ayaz Memon, cricket writer and commentator, is joining us. Sharda Ugra, author and sports commentator. G. Rajaraman is senior journalist and sports communicator. Thanks a lot to all of our three guests for joining us. Let me begin with you, G. Rajaraman. Out of the nominees, I will discuss each one of them individually in just a bit. But would you say that, you take the Olympics in 2021 and you take 2022, a lot of these athletes, the 5 nominees and beyond, have continued to take Indian sports to greater heights, possibly the kinds, we have never seen before?
It's been a good year for Indian sport, definitely. Not just Tokyo 2020 and later and earlier, but I think 2022 has been quite spectacular. Quietly so. And I think it is wonderful that Indian sport is making the progress. Obviously, there is room for improvement. India would want to get better in Paris 2024 and develop on all fronts. I think we are getting there. We're developing that sports culture. Hopefully in 2024 and 2028, India will be a force to reckon with, not just settle for 48th place with just 7 medals.
Yes. Ayaz, I must say that for us to not even nominate a cricketer or a female cricketer in itself goes on to show that India and its sports landscape is just expanding well beyond cricket or a couple of sports, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And I think that's really the big story of the last 12 months or 18 months, just about 2 years. Because you see, as you mentioned, the landscape changing. It's not just one sport and the others are all also ranked and also ranked by a huge margin. I think that, as Raja says, there's lots of scope for improvement. But let's not ignore what has been achieved already. An Olympic gold in track and field was unthinkable even 18 months ago. And, the kind of rapid strides or the huge strides we made in badminton is astonishing, remarkable. We've had Nikhat Zareen, who's come and taken the baton from Mary Kom and proved her mettle at the opportunities that she's got. It's just becoming so much more exciting as somebody who follows sport to see, not just talking about the usual flannel fools, but looking at champions emerging from a spectrum of sports. And that, I think, is really the highlight of the past 18-20 months.
Sharda, I'm coming to you to talk about one of our nominees now. How do we explain Neeraj Chopra's contribution to Indian sports, not just Indian athletics? I mean, in this year's Indian of the Year awards, his Olympic goals is not even in the criteria because the period is from, September till August this year, September 2021 to August this year. And yet, he has done so much more in the last 12 months that has left us all, in awe.
Shivani, I think, Neeraj is a kind of a figure in Indian sport that
it will sort of go down in history as being a barrier breaker of the kind we have never seen before, because he's a track and field gold medalist and he's able to follow it up with world-class performances against world-class athletes at the top level of his competition. So he is now a world star. He is known amongst his peers as a competitor to be reckoned with, and his Diamond League final medal was incredible because you have that photograph of him standing with all those others, champions of the year, on the stage. And like Ayaz said, who would have imagined this? At the start of 2021, who would have thought that there will be an Indian standing there? And I think Neeraj's ability to compete at that level and to stay consistently successful at that level is what has been, I'm just trying to sort of get my head around as to whether it's almost like in terms of actually winning and competing and winning and being there at the top. Yeah. Who's been able to do that? You can't wrap your head around it almost.
No, his consistency has been absolutely mind-boggling. You would think after achieving a high like an Olympic gold, there would be a little bit of dip because you're human, you have to kind of regroup and take a break. But this man just kept producing champion performance after champion performance. Raja, you've worked very closely with him. You've seen, Neeraj very closely over the last few years as someone who works with the Sports Authority of India. Your comments on the mind-boggling consistency that Neeraj has brought to the fore and that focus, razor-sharp focus on what lies ahead.
It would have been very easy for him to sit back and say, I'm now Olympic champion, I've got the gold medal, I've done enough. now I can die. No, he's not like that. He wants more. He's hungry. I remember talking to him and him saying that I want that Diamond League final trophy. I want that diamond with me. And then at the World Championship in Eugene this year, he was phenomenal. He was trailing and he came back with a terrific throw to get that 88-meter mark and then get that silver medal at the World Championship. Now, he's got hunger, and that is what fuels his consistency. I think both of it come together, and the best part of it is he knows he doesn't want any distraction. I think what Prakash Padukone did all those years ago, going off to Denmark and training there, Neeraj is replicating it today. In an era where social media can be such a distraction, and he's got a presence. It's not as if he's not there. He's very much on social media, but he's very dignified and he's very, very, very cool about it. But his focus on his training, I don't think anything can shake that. To move away to the United States in December last year, especially after putting on weight, losing that and then going to train in Turkey, in Finland, and then giving off the performances that make India sit up late at night and watch one athletics performance. I don't think any of us would have imagined this to be happening.
Absolutely. I think we're all in the same boat, because I remember there used to be the Golden League, which eventually became the Diamond League, and all of these years, it was unimaginable to think that an Indian will be in the competition in the final, let alone on the podium. And Neeraj Chopra has won a Diamond League's final title this year, the first ever Indian to do so. But you mentioned Prakash Padukone. Let me take that as a segue. Sharda, I'm coming to you on Lakshya Sen, who's one of our other nominees. This man, I mean, this boy, or the athlete that we considered a boy, has graduated into the big leagues and has turned to a man, as they say, this year.
So Lakshya Sen's name was always taken. We always knew that he was seen as the next hope, after Srikanth, sort of the foremost Indian male player that's going to come through. And he's had an excellent year this year, that Commonwealth Games gold medal. But I think the Thomas Cup performance is the one that all of us will remember. He didn't have his first two matches were not that great, but when it counted, when it came to the crunch, he produced the performance, that saw India win the title. I mean, I wish we could even have the Thomas Cup team amongst the candidates, because it's such an incomprehensible kind of a victory that people of my generation, we cannot imagine that has happened, but it has, and terrific performance from all the players. Satvik Sairaj and Ranki Reddy as well, Chirag Shetty as well, and great performances from a range of sports, which is the fun. But Lakshya Sen, because he is a foremost singles player, that's the fact that there will be attention on him, and I think it'll be. He's had some injury problems, but I think we'll be looking. He's made finals at big events, and imagine that this is not yet his breakthrough year, because his breakthrough year will come. But this has not been it. It's been terrific, but he's got more. He's capable of much more.
Absolutely. At that